Hey folks, it's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Today is Friday, October 7th. Happy Friday. And coming at you live, going to get started with a before market close update. We've got about 9 minutes here before the close, so we'll jump into the market here. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe and tick the bell to be notified on any future updates or when I go live. And just going to share my screen here. For some reason, the share button isn't showing here. What's going on here? Give me 1 sec, folks. Settings. Let me know if everything's working okay, if the sound's coming through. Also going to do some ticker requests. So if you have any tickers that you want me to look into, just let me know. And there's the, okay, they called it present now instead of share. There we go. All right, so they must have did an update to the software, but sharing the screen now. So we'll get started. It's an interesting day in the markets, to say the least. So we'll look at we'll do a quick market update, and then we'll get into the chat. We'll get into any questions. If anybody has any ticker requests, just let me know the ticker and the exchange, and then we'll get into the market update. And then, like I said, any questions that anybody has, let me know. I know it was a pretty rough day in the markets in terms of MJ and not what everybody really wanted to see, but I kind of warned everybody yesterday that we could see something like this happen, and that's exactly what we got. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And we just have to take the good with the bad and learn to change our mindset, right? If there's going to be more downside, we've already experienced basically 2 years now of brutal downside in the MJ sector. So what's another couple months or even a year if we have to wait that long, right? So I'm going to get started here. We'll do a quick update on the crypto market. Again, I just did a video earlier today on Tilray Brands, their earnings. So obviously I said yesterday that we didn't form any support on the way up. So that there was a good chance that we were more than likely going to see a gap up. I said the most likely scenario was that we would see a gap up and then a sell-off, and that had to do with the lack of support. We knew that the S&P 500 likely due for daily consolidation. It was still in a weekly and monthly downtrend as well. So today, SPY started daily consolidation on the S&P 500. We also had Tilray earnings missed on both EPS and revenue, and then we knew that we didn't have any support on a lot of our MJ names, right? So when something goes up 20, 30, 40, 80% like it did yesterday in MJ, we have no support on even the 5-minute or the hourly charts, and SPY was weak, and they missed on earnings and their estimates for EPS and revenue. Well, we needed to expect a pretty big pullback right at that point. So let us know where you're tuning in from as well in the chat. But let's get going here. We'll take a look at the crypto space. Also did a video on Biden pardoning the simple MJ possessions yesterday. If you haven't seen that, I highly encourage you to go check that out. But XLM and XRP are pumping big time at the moment. So that's great to see. And again, if you're only looking at MJ, right? If you're only looking at whether it be, altcoins or MJ, right? It's easy to get fatigued whenever we're going a certain way, especially, when we're going down. No one's really complaining when the price is going up. But how I get through this bear market and these, brutal pullbacks and things like that with regards to MJ is just by having diversification, right? So today you're seeing Bitcoin very weak. SPY, the S&P 500 was very weak, but look at the massive move here on XRP. It was up to almost 54 cents there today, and up. We'll just take a look in terms of gains here. XRP is currently up 5%, so it would have been up like 10% when a lot of our MJ names are down. This is the reason why I still have the most amount of dollars in altcoins. I have more dollars invested in altcoins than I do MJ stocks because MJ is still in a bear market. And what I was actually kind of hoping that MJ would stay low until after we see the altcoins run, because I'm going to look to rotate those profits. I have a lot more dollar volume or value in dollars invested into altcoins than I do MJ. So what I want to see is altcoins have the true alt season, and then I'll rotate those profits into more beaten down MJ, right? So again, that doesn't mean that it's going to absolutely happen. As long, I don't really care if MJ bumps up a little bit, but I certainly don't want it to run like 400, 500% before alt season. Really, at the end of the day, I'm prepared for all scenarios, but I would like to see just kind of hold off a little bit and then rotate those profits and maximize those profits, right? We're also seeing HBAR break to a higher high here as well. This is probably one of my biggest positions as well. But my biggest position in terms of altcoins is XRP, then XLM, then I believe it's HBAR, then Algo, then Litecoin. I also have a lot of Link. What else do I got? I got Filecoin, Quant, Helium. That's pretty much the brunt of them. But essentially, I've got probably, I think, anywhere from 9 to 11 different altcoins right now. I don't own any Bitcoin. I don't own any Ethereum at the moment. I feel like the risk is to the downside with those. So those are my biggest altcoin holdings at the moment, but looking real good here in terms of these three. And we're starting to see the utility coins, the coins that actually do stuff, start to get the brunt of the move here. We also had the Binance Smart Chain that got hacked. So if we just take a look at CoinMarketCap, you can see here that we're still at just under $1 trillion in market cap in terms of the entire crypto space. But one thing I wanted to share with you here is that Binance, I was wondering when XRP was going to start making a run for that top 3 spot. I'm not going to factor in USD coin because it's a stable coin. So in terms of actual cryptos, we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, and then BNB, and then XRP. So XRP we know was in number 2 spot in 2018. It actually passed Ethereum in terms of market cap. Ethereum's market cap right now is 162 billion and XRP's is 25 billion, right? So if we know that Ethereum got passed by XRP, might XRP go to like 150 or 200 billion at some point? More than likely, in my opinion. And it's right now racing to BNB. We're only about 20 billion behind BNB. And with that news that just broke out about the hack and the exploit there, I guess it was more of an exploit, but 100 million, I think it was, that was exploited through that vulnerability and the Binance Smart Chain. And Cardano was well ahead of us at some point not too long ago. I don't own any Cardano at the moment either. I feel like the risk is to the downside. It was just at a penny in March 2020, and then we hit $3.16. Even at 42 cents, it's still up, dramatically from the 1.7 cents that it was at in March 2020. So I have no interest in owning that. I sold it long ago, and I feel like the best risk to reward is XRP, XLM, and some of these other ones like Algorand and HBAR, Hedera Hashgraph. So XRP, like I said, well above Cardano now at almost 26 billion, and Cardano is sliding here at 14.5 billion, but only 20 billion behind BNB, and then we'd be back in the top 3 spot in terms of market cap. So I was wondering when that was going to happen, and this news with regards to Binance Smart Chain getting hacked only accelerates that idea, and I think that could happen fairly soon where we see XRP reclaim that 3rd spot. But in terms of movers and shakers on the day today, we have Code, Mara, and BTC shorts. We also had HP, so blockchain names getting hit pretty hard today. Hex, Sologenic, and MGTI, followed by XRP leading the bull list. Like I said, HBAR, XLM, we've got Zilliqa, we've got Celsius. So XRP having a good day today. I'm just going to bring up XRP here on the daily time frame as well. So we had this equilibrium. We had the high, low, lower high, and we were at risk of a daily downtrend confirming here. And I'll just make this full screen here, but we had the high, low, lower high, higher low, equilibrium, and then we broke it bullish. If we would have lost support here at 41.7 cents, that would have confirmed a daily downtrend, and we would have seen a momentum shift to the bears. But we ended up holding that support, broke the equilibrium bullish. Now it's all about resistance there at 56 cents. After 56 cents, we've got some runway. Essentially, we have no resistance all the way up to about 91.2 cents. So if we get over that resistance at 56 cents, we could easily jump another 62%-ish with a lack of resistance there on the weekly time frame. So it's looking really good at the moment. Definitely one of the strongest charts in crypto. We could even see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross happening here soon on the weekly time frame. We already got the monthly bear cross out of the way here on the EMAs, so that's good to see. But monthly inside bar at the moment, and like I said, all about 56 resistance. After that on the monthly, again, same as the weekly, no resistance until 90 cents. So this thing could easily be heading back up to around 90 cents, maybe even $1 here in short order. And we know that NFTs are likely coming to the XRP ledger soon. Flare Network's due to launch next month, I believe it is. And then we're looking for a market bottom in the crypto space and the overall broader market sometime between now and the November 8th election. So I think that could happen. Sometime we'll bottom out between now and, maybe the next 1 to 2 weeks. We'll form a bottom in crypto and in the broader market in the S&P 500. And then, like I said, I think into the November 8th elections, we're going to start to trend back higher. And then we're more than likely going to see, a favorable outcome with the rate decision for November. I'm thinking that they're saying 75 basis points. I'm thinking they might come in around 75 or 50. The job numbers came out today, very strong. So insinuating that we could see more interest rates hikes as well. But again, I think that we could see either 75 basis points or maybe even 50 basis points. That would be bullish for the markets if we came in at 50. Even more bullish if we saw 25 basis points. I was thinking 25 basis points, but now I'm of the thinking that we're likely going to see 50 to 75. And then into December, when we get the next interest rate decision, that's when I think that they could either not raise at all or 25 basis points, and that would be bullish for the markets. As soon as they start to pivot, we're going to see the markets absolutely explode to the upside. And again, the dollar, if we just take a look at the DXY here, hasn't consolidated in 9 months, so going on almost a full year. So we will expect for that to happen some point over the next couple months, and that lines up with my thesis that we could see the stock market rally into the end of the year, with us looking to form a bottom at some point here in the next couple of weeks. And again, things are going to, things can change, but we just closed on SPY. We closed at 362. So we're still holding that low from last week at 357. So it's all about 357 from here. But again, just like I said yesterday, I was expecting another leg down in SPY. I said we're still in a weekly downtrend, and we would have to break yesterday. It's the high of this week so far. We'd have to break another 8% above the high of this week before we even negated that weekly downtrend. So we could have pumped another 8% from breaking the high of this week, right? So there was the most likely scenarios that we're going to just form a lower high, right, and see another leg down. And we have that pretty big upper wick here now that the weekly candle is closed. So that's looking like a reversal here, and we could potentially see weakness into next week. What did I say to be watching out for in terms of the .com fractal that's been following to perfection? It says here that we could bottom out over the next 1 to 2 weeks, right? Maybe even 3 weeks. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. That's a pretty bearish close here on the candle. I wouldn't be surprised if we broke to a lower low next week, and then, like I said, head back toward that 330 area, which is the previous all-time highs before the C19 dump, before we went on this crazy run, right? We got 12 years worth of gains on the S&P 500 in 2 years, 10 years worth of gains condensed into 2 years, right? 120% on the S&P 500 in a couple of years, when we're used to 12% annually, right? So it's looking like we're probably going to see another leg down. So if you're wondering if your positions right now are going to see more downside, if you're looking at individual stocks, tech stocks, if you're looking at MJ stocks, we're probably going to see more headwinds and downside, right? Again, news can change that, but all things unchanged, it's looking like we could see more downside, right? And that's exactly what I said yesterday. That's why we have to be realistic, and we have to not just look at one MJ stock, or if you're looking at one MJ stock, or if you're looking at one tech stock, you're not getting the whole accurate picture, right? You need to look at what the broader market's doing. Again, news can change that. Things can run against the grain, but the overall trend right now is to the downside. And like I said, I think we're going to target that 330, and then that's when I think we're going to go. That's the time to go long, right around that 330 area. And then I think we're going to see a face ripper of a rally into the end of the year, probably about a 20% move on the S&P 500, and we'll come back up, maybe test 400, 410, and then that'll be an opportunity to short, right? And if you're worrying about more downside, and you're like, oh God, Rod, why are you telling me all this bad news, right? Well, I'm just being honest and being a realist with you guys and gals. But if we're going to see another leg down, this is why I've been preaching. It's not a bad idea to hedge those long positions with SPXS. And I can see here we already got quite a few chats coming in here in the comments in the chat. And it looks like Jatinder is saying, thank you for your recommendation of SPXS. And that's all I was trying to do, is just equip you guys a little bit better, because I know this is an MJ-centric channel, but MJ was not set up well if we saw broader market weakness. We saw broader market weakness. We're down like 25% from the all-time highs on SPY. So why not? Again, when we were at 430 on SPY, I was saying not a bad idea to take a position in SPXS and hedge those longs, right? Because I know a lot of people are very exposed and heavily weighted in MJ stocks, right? So that was the whole idea, was hedging those positions. Now your SPXS is up a bunch, just like Jatinder mentioned here in the chat. Now, instead of putting that money into more beaten down MJ, now he's got a profit in SPXS, and now MJ's down again. So now he can take that profit and then rotate it into even more beaten down MJ, right? Which gives him more shares at the end of the day, right? So you can also just keep cash on the sidelines. I've still got a six-figure cash position. I'm hedging with SPXS. I'm all out of SPXS right now at the moment, to be honest, because I think that we're getting closer to a bottom than not. But I will, I'll contemplate re-entering probably. I'm waiting for 330, 340, and then I want to see a massive move and then re-enter it. right? I've already profited quite a bit off of it, so I'm not trying to get greedy. And like I said, we're closer to support than we are resistance. And like I said, I do think that we're going to set a bottom here over the next couple of weeks and then see a pretty massive rally into the end of the year. But then we can't lose sight of the fact that the S&P 500, if it follows this .com fractal, which I think it may, it probably will, in my opinion, we could go as low as 230s, maybe even 200 on the S&P 500, which would mean from current levels, we could see a potential 33 to 40% of downside from here. And a lot of macroeconomic experts are saying that the S&P 500 could fall another 50% from current levels, right? The harder we run to the upside and the fast and hard, if we're running that fast, that hard in such a short period of time, we need to expect the same thing to the downside, right? It was the same thing with TrueLeave. And everybody, didn't want to believe me when I said, hey, we didn't form any support here on the monthly time frame. We just went from low to high, no monthly support at all. What happened when we started monthly consolidation? We gave the whole freaking move back, right? And that's what happens when you don't form any support on the way up. And just like Tilray, like I mentioned yesterday, we had no support on this 5-minute chart. What's that look like? Does that not look like the TrueLeave chart? If we have no support, right? It was just a higher low every single candle. If we would have came down and did something like this with a higher low and a higher high and a higher low and a higher high, we would have 3 support levels. We have 1, 2, 3. But in this case, that wasn't the case. We just had a straight line up, right? And what do we know about straight lines up? We usually see elevators down. That's exactly what happened. They missed their earnings. SPY was weak, and we didn't have any support. We ran 20, 30, 40%. Some names ran 80%. So when we go up 40%, you need to expect a pretty sizable pullback, right? And at the first of the day, we pulled back 16%. And what did I say yesterday in the stream? I said the most likely scenario is that Tilray, based on the size of this candle from yesterday, I said the most likely scenario is we gap up. So what happened? Oh, look, we gapped up. We started the day above yesterday's highs. Okay, we gapped up. We broke to a higher high. People got FOMO'd, bought in, and then got wrecked because exactly what I said happened was the most likely scenario is we gap up. They get FOMO, and then we see a pullback of 10, 20%. I said, target, don't be surprised because everybody was getting excited, right? And I said, don't be surprised if we pull back 10, 20, maybe even 30% on some names, right? Because we had no support. SPY was due for daily consolidation, still in a weekly and monthly downtrend. We had no support. And we missed on earnings estimates. And I said, don't be surprised if we target 350, 325. So what happened? We gapped up. And then where did we pull back to? Initially, we pulled back to 350. And then we pulled back to 325. And then we actually exceeded that. We hit a low of 313 today. And I guarantee you a lot of people were, pulling their hair out. Just a figure of speech, obviously. But, it's funny that, I tell people that this is probably the most likely scenario. And no one said anything about that yesterday. And then today, exactly what I thought was the most likely scenario happened. And people are still like, oh my God, the stock market is a scam. And I can't believe this. We gave back all yesterday's gains. And I gave you a 24-hour warning. So again, it's not me trying to toot my own horn and say I know everything. I just said the most likely scenario. I didn't say this is going to happen 110%, but I gave you all the reasons why I thought that was the most likely scenario. But I mean, let's step back for a second. We're still in a daily uptrend, right? We have the low, high, higher low, and higher high. So now we're just looking for a higher low now compared to this low here at 283. We didn't even test support yet. Right? That's why I said we had such a huge range. We're still in a daily uptrend, but most people would think that, this is terrible, right? This is the worst news ever. But again, if you know how to spot trends and realize that, oh, we're still in a daily uptrend and this range was huge. We pumped 40%. Okay. We need to expect a pretty sizable pullback. So now we're down from the high of the day today. We're down 23%, right? So it's not even the end of the world, in my opinion. And then, like I said, if we take a look at SPY on the daily time frame, SPY was due. It was still in a weekly downtrend, still in a monthly downtrend, first time since 2008 financial crisis. And we went 4 days in a row without any daily consolidation. And then we had 2 daily inside bars. Once we broke support, the low of yesterday at 372.68, we broke the inside bar bearish. And then we started daily consolidation. Now we're just looking for a higher low compared to 357. But again, we could potentially form a higher low and a higher high here. So it's all about 357 leading into Monday. If we hold that and then form a higher low and then go up, test resistance there at 379.46. We break through 379.46. We're in a daily uptrend, right? But we're still in a weekly and monthly downtrend. So the odds are we're favoring more downside. And like I said, still targeting 330s, the previous all-time highs before C19 dump. And I think that's a realistic area to target. Bitcoin tested its all-time highs from 2017, so kind of similar. And we know that it's been tracking equities quite closely. So again, looks like we could potentially see another leg down into next week, maybe the week after is what I would say. And then the week after that, maybe in 2 to 3 weeks, we start to trend back higher, right? Leading into those midterm elections. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news and say, I told you so. And that's not the point, is to tell you, I don't want to gloat and say that I know everything and that I told you so. That's not the point. The point is I'm trying to keep everybody's emotions in check, trying to keep everybody at a level headed and realize that, MJ, it's a process. It's not just because Biden announced that pardon information yesterday and potential rescheduling. That's just an announcement, right? It's like a buy the rumor, sell the news. The rumor was going around. We were talking about it in the PAL group private community, and shout out to Sean. He said there's a possibility that we could see some reform coming in the next couple of days. And literally like 2 days later, Biden announced rescheduling. So that rumor was true, right? And if you were part of the PAL group community, you would have known that. But we didn't know if it was true. But why not buy when prices are low and at all-time lows, or testing or setting new all-time lows before we get this massive news, right? And now it's just another buying opportunity, in my opinion. And then, like I said, it was a buy the rumor, sell the news. And we had all the stars aligning for a bearish case today. We had SPY starting daily consolidation. We had weakness in pretty much every area. The strong jobs report came out insinuating that the dollar was probably going to get stronger and they were probably going to raise rates. We had no support on the 5-minute and hourly charts on Tilray and a lot of our MJ names. And Tilray missed on its earnings, right? On both EPS and revenue by quite a big margin. So all of that confluence led to the downside today, right? In terms of individual names, I've been very bearish on Tesla, and Tesla hit a low today of 222. I said, don't be surprised if we go back, test 200 soon. We lose, let me just look at the monthly time frame here too. If we lose, I think it was 180, 179.83. If we lose 179.83, we have no support down to $23. So that's like 86% downside. So we were talking about this in the PAL group community too. Like, I have no interest entering this thing, and we're almost forming a bit of a head and shoulders here as well, which Bitcoin did. So if we just take a look at the high to the low there, just a rough estimate here, it's saying and that lines up with the 0.786. So I think we could be heading to $100, maybe even sub $100 here on Tesla in a hurry. Hate to be the bearer of bad news once again, but this is why you gotta kind of be realistic. And we could even see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross here with the shorter term coming down through the longer term. That's not good, right? Let's look at Netflix. What happened to Netflix? Oh, look, monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. Same thing that Tesla's about to do. What happened after it crossed? Massive downside, 65% of downside, right? So let's just say Tesla does something similar. If 60, 70% of downside after the cross. So let's say it crosses like here, it'd probably take another, either the end of this month, the next month. If we see another 60% of downside, that could bring us to like $60 on Tesla, right? So this is why I was all out of Tesla as well. I have no interest whatsoever. No FOMO, don't care. When we run 33X, right, in a couple years, no interest, absolutely none, right? Missed it. If you didn't, like, I was telling people to buy Tesla back here when it was sub $200 post split, right? Or pre-split, both splits, right? There was 2 stock splits since then. So I was telling everybody both of those stock splits to buy Tesla. But then after we go up to here, a lot of people saying, I'm going to buy Tesla. And I'm like, why? Why wouldn't you want to buy it back here? Because once it's cool and everybody loves it, then everybody wants to buy it. It's like, oh, well, I'm looking 10 years out. It's like, okay, well, I understand that, but we're at all-time highs. We just ran 33X in 2 years, and you can hold it for 10 years, but might you think that you'll get a better price, right? Might it like come down maybe at least 50%, maybe get it around $100, right? So it could still drop like another 50% from here, right? I think easily. And again, if SPY is going to see a bear market for the next couple of years, maybe 1 to 2 years, this thing will easily go to $100 in my opinion. So again, it's just it comes with experience. But MVMD, AMD, SHOP, and Coin leading the decline today in the bull list. We didn't have very many. VEGA, JSDA, and RUM. Rumble's an interesting one. Been a lot of volatility in this one. This is a competitor to YouTube. But look at that move there on Rumble. From the low to the high, it was like 75% there over a couple weeks. Russell Brand also pretty much ditching YouTube to go with Rumble. So might have had something to do with it as well. The guy's got like 7 million followers or something like that just on YouTube alone, subscribers. But let's take a look at the MJ space, and then we'll jump in. CGC got absolutely whacked. We'll jump into the MJ space here, and then we'll do the chat. Anybody has any tickers, let me know. But yeah, pretty exactly what I said yesterday. I said, don't be surprised if we pull back 10 to 20%. CGC over 20%, right? We've got Oxley, 5.5 cents, PSDN, PCLO leading the bull list today. But on the bear list, we had CGC, VLNS, SNDL, Tilray, right? Even Hexo, VFF, all down double digits. So again, I wish I was wrong. I wish the most likely scenario wasn't a gap up and then a 10 to 20% sell off, right, on average. But that was the most likely scenario. And we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, right? It's not the end of the world here. And we're still in a daily uptrend. So again, this is why it pays to know how to read charts and spot uptrends and downtrends, because you can keep a level head and realize that, okay, you know, everybody thinks this is the end of the world and I hate the stock market. I hate MJ. But if you knew anything about charts, you'd realize that we're still in a daily uptrend, right? So again, this was just the most likely scenario. And I definitely feel for people that, you know, even though I warned yesterday, people still got angry and hated the market today, and, you know, F the stock market and screw MJ, all that stuff, right? Just another pump and dump. But even when you warn them a day in advance and exactly what you warn them comes, they still just weren't prepared for it. I don't know how to explain it. And I'm not sure what else I can do. Maybe let me know in the chat, guys, if there's something else that I could have done. Should I have been waving a red flag as well while I'm saying it? I'm just kind of joking, but I really am being serious to a certain extent, because I don't know how else to convey it in a way that will resonate with people. Because like I said, I just don't know, right? I felt bad, you know, just hearing everybody lament and go on today. And you know, I feel for everybody because I'm human too. And I don't want to see people you know, down in the dumps, but it's just unfortunate. Right. So, but yeah, that's financial markets. Right. And then watch Monday next week or the week after, we'll see another 80% move or something like that. Right. So to the upside. But Halo, Acreage, and PLTH leading the decline today. So again, Acreage had a huge move yesterday, and then another huge move down, right? Again, still in a daily uptrend with the low, high, higher, low, and higher high. We saw the EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, gapped up, sold off 10, 20%. Exactly what I said. Ian, Fit, and Cresco leading the bull list today. Cresco's interesting. So we gapped up, pulled back the 18%. So again, following the rest of the sector, could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, still in a daily uptrend with the low, high, higher, low, and higher high. So it's looking okay. We didn't even backtest EMA 26 yet. So CL is looking real good. Very, very strong. And in terms of the weekly chart, we still haven't confirmed a weekly uptrend yet. And we knew that we were due for weekly consolidation. We hadn't consolidated here. Once we started that weekly bounce, we hadn't consolidated in 63 days, right? So 9 weeks. And then here we pulled back about 40%, right? When something bounces off the low, 80%, you need to expect a pretty big pullback. And then sure enough, 40%. Didn't confirm a weekly uptrend. Now we're looking for a weekly higher low compared to that support of 311. We hit 329, and we're almost breaking resistance now at 567. We hit a high of 525. So if we break 567 from here, we're in a weekly uptrend. And taking a look at TrueLeave. So TrueLeave was interesting today as well. TrueLeave ran a massive day yesterday. Look at that candle, right? 40%, 42%. And then today only down 11%. So this is probably one of our stronger names at the moment. EMA 12 and 26 bull cross still yet to occur as well. And really no daily resistance until about 1977. So we'll say 20 psychological. And then if we zoom out to the weekly time frame, what did I say about USMJ? Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure I said my target on TrueLeave was $20. Same with GTII. And I said, watch for a lot of our names to gravitate back towards their EMA 26s. And then look, resistance, resistance, got above it here, but didn't close above it, right? Reversal, then close below it. Same thing here, got above it, came back down, didn't close. Here we go, resistance again, resistance again. So very simple statement is EMA 26, that white line is a brick wall. We've lost it. It's been resistance ever since we lost it as support after we had that massive run to February 2021 highs, the all-time highs, and then we saw a 90% drawdown or 83% drawdown, right? So maybe you're just, again, that's why I was saying we gravitate usually back towards those EMAs. And then now if we close a weekly candle over that line, that white line, we could easily see this thing back to $25 to $30 in my opinion in a hurry, right? Because we haven't closed a candle on the weekly time frame above that line since we lost it, right? So it's been from the highs there, from the all-time highs and February 2021, it's now been 602 days that we haven't closed a weekly candle above it. So that'll be a huge momentum shift, and it'll be very notable once we do. MSOS. So again, back testing its weekly EMA 26. And again, resistance, 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 resistance. So very similar to True Leaf. Once this thing closes above that yellow line there at 1360 and gets a weekly close over that, watch for some fireworks. And we could be gearing up for an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross here on those EMAs. So we're scouting a bottom. Might be another couple months yet, right? But all I can say is if you're with us after this long, and if you're sticking to the markets after this long, you're going to be one of the ones who potentially may never have to worry about money ever again, right? You could potentially have generational wealth. Your children's children could be generationally wealthy, right? Because of the fact that you're buying in a bear market and you're still paying attention, right? You can get rich in a bull market, but you become wealthy in a bear market. So just take a look at Jatinder here. So yeah, huge respect for you, brother. Thank you. I'm up on SPXS position. Should I sell or hold for another week? Thank you. So like I said, I can't really tell you what to do. I can't tell you to buy, sell, or hold. I'm not a financial advisor. I just tell you it's for education purposes only and entertainment purposes only. But like I said, I'm all out of SPXS. I took my position, like I was entering SPXS, like I was averaging into it, right? So if we just bring up SPY, I was buying SPXS when SPY was like around here, right? I was averaging in, all the way up at like 420s, 430s, 440s, 450s, 470s. And then, we pulled back from there. We pulled back 25%. And then once we came back down here, I started to exit, took some of those profits, and then I re-entered again around 450, right? And then we dropped to a lower low, and then I took profits, and then I entered again. Remember the post I did at 430, right? If we just go over here to the community tab, we scroll down. Also, yeah, just keep in mind I'm doing a giveaway. I forgot to mention that at the first of the video. Go to the communities tab, doing a giveaway for a 1-year annual gold membership to valued at $150, valued, but that'll be done on Monday, next Monday, October 10th, Thanksgiving here in Canada. But yeah, I just want to scroll down and show that real quick here for you. So I said right here, I said on August 16th in the Power Group private community, but then I posted this about 1 month ago, right? So September 7th is whenever I posted this screenshot from August 16th. I said, SPY's hitting 430, not too late to take an SPXS position, hedge position, folks. So we hit 430, and then we dropped to 357. So we saw 17% of downside from there. And then SPXS, where did we bottom out? Right on August 16th, basically. Which was insane, right? How did I know that was going to happen? I didn't know for sure, but it was the most likely scenario. So if we go here to August 16th, there it is. From that level, we're now up 71%, right? So you're welcome. I'm glad you took my recommendation. Again, not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. This is just, me giving you a potential recommendation and a consideration to take into account, right? But now that we're up that 70%, we're still in a weekly uptrend. So personally, like I said, I'm okay with the gains that I made off SPXS. And I think that we're more than likely going to see a relief rally in SPY. Like I said, probably bottom out over the next couple of weeks. And then we'll see a massive rally, probably up to around that 400. And then that's when I'll be looking to scale back into SPXS around 380, 390, and 400, right? But at the moment, not holding any SPXS at the moment because I do think we're closer to support and finding a local bottom before we see a pretty massive rally. So you'll have to make that decision on your own. Generally, I don't recommend holding SPXS for a long time anyway. If you're going to hold like long-term, and long-term being like a month or more. If you're going to hold like multiple months, you might want to just consider actual short shares of the S&P 500, because there's a decay factor that's factored into SPXS, and they achieve this 3x leverage by options and things like that, right? So there is a decay factor that applies to this. That applies to SPXS. So like I said, I would encourage you, if you're going to do a long-term thing, like if you're wanting to see this thing all the way down to 200 or 230s, like we're potentially going to see, in my opinion, over the next few years or a couple of years, into 2023, end of 2023, into early 2024, where we potentially set a bottom, then like I said, use short shares. But SPXS, I usually only in that position for a few weeks, a month at the most. And like I said, I just try to time the, like this is where time in the market, probably not the best, right? Unless you're going to go short. But when we're at all-time highs, timing the market is a lot better than time in the market, unless you're, MJ at 52-week lows or all-time lows, right? So hopefully that helps. But personally, I'm all out of SPXS, and I was happy with the profit that I made, right? 70%. And if we just take a look at, like I said, off the low there on the 16th, that was 72%, right? About 72%. So I'm happy with those gains. And then I took that profit, and then I was able to rotate it into more beaten down MJ. And then we saw MJ pop, right? And granted, it gave a lot of those gains back today, right? But again, that was my strategy, was to hedge those long-term positions, use that profit to buy even more beaten down MJ, right? So everybody's situation is different, but yeah, like I said, we could see I think we could see 330s on the S&P 500, which means that we could potentially see another leg down over the next week or two. So yeah, maybe you want to hold it a little bit longer and see that next leg down. That's a possibility as well. One thing you could do is sell half of it. That way you're right either way. So not a bad idea to lock in those profits. Hopefully that helps. Thanks for your comment, and glad that I was able to help out any way that I can. Cheers, my friend. Rod is the man. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Like I said, it goes both ways, and I really do appreciate all of the contributions, the support that you guys have given me. And I know a lot of people on YouTube have to deal with a lot of trolls, and something that I haven't really seen a lot of on my channel. So knock on wood. Yeah, we better be careful what we wish for, and don't speak too loudly, because those trolls have really, really big ears. If you haven't noticed, and really big mouths as well. I always wait for your live stream to start and learning every day from you, and help how to enhance my knowledge. Or if you have any study course I want to join, brother, let me know how to join. Yeah, so that's a good point. If you just go to my website, so it's pursuitofwealthgroup.com or powgroup.ca. Both will take you there. And then scroll down. There's actually an Academy tab here at the top. Click on Academy, and then you can just scroll down and you can hit Visit Academy. And I actually have a free course already built. I built it like a year or something, a little over a year ago. And yeah, there's 30 modules, 3 chapters, and 30 modules, all free. So setting realistic goals and targets, right? Like this is the mindset portion here, right? And this is what most people don't do, right? When they get involved in stocks or crypto or investing, they don't figure out what they want to do. They don't know if they're an investor or a trader. They don't even know what the difference is most of the time, right? Why do you want to invest and trade? Are you doing it to make, a living? Are you doing it because you want to become wealthy? Are you doing it because you want to retire and not work a job, right? All those things are going to factor in. Setting realistic goals and targets. A lot of people want to get rich yesterday, but that's not how the stock market works. Like Warren Buffett says, the stock market is a mechanism for transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. Most people are impatient. So, you have to realize that. Then I have a SMART goal guide. What are your goals? Write them down. Psychology of markets and cycles. Then I get into the nitty gritty: brokerages, accounts, paper trading, registered versus margin accounts, paper money first, stocks versus crypto, do's and don'ts of day trading, picking and setting up a brokerage account. Then I get into more technical and fundamental analysis basics. And then I do an interactive quiz on teaching you how to spot what are uptrends versus downtrends, right? So all that there for free. You'd be, in my opinion, you'd be silly not to take advantage of it. But yeah, you're very welcome. And like I said, all about providing value to you folks. And that took me a long time to make that course, and it was all free. So like I said, definitely take advantage of it. and consider joining POW Group as well. If you go here, click on, we have a monthly membership currently on for $9.99, and then in the year membership, some people are charging, $1,000, $2,000, $2,500 a year, and $100 is pretty modest, right? So if you made a bunch of money off SPXS, consider joining the POW Group community. We've got about 50 people in there, and this is all we do day in, day out, right? So you don't have to wait for the live streams. You can have access to not only me, but 50 other people in there who are some are new, some are experienced. And I learn a lot from people in the group as well, right? It's all about having more eyes on the market, the better. And like I said, we all have strengths and weaknesses, and that was the whole idea of POW Group, was to have a group of individuals that you can bounce ideas off of before you hit the buy or sell button. Not telling you to hit the buy or sell button, but just kind of float ideas around and brainstorm. But thanks for the comment. Would you mind sharing any thoughts, insight on ACB? Recently, they were flat, 0 recent quarter. Thanks. Yep, no problem, Ocean. So I am seeing a lot more interest in ACB lately. I don't know why, but normally in my live streams, I barely had anybody commenting on ACB. But yeah, there's been a lot more people talking about ACB lately. I don't know why, though. I'm not sure if I missed anything, but it's quite bearish still at the moment. I mean, pretty much all MJ is, but didn't really participate in the move as much yesterday. From the low, it was only up about 14%. And then today we actually dropped to a daily lower low. So just for comparison's sake, like Hexo didn't break yesterday's low. Sundial did, so a little bit weaker. Tilray didn't even come close. We still had to drop another 8% to lose the low of yesterday. CGC, a little bit weaker. So yeah, ACB, definitely one of the weaker ones. And we lost the daily uptrend. We had the low, high, higher low, and higher high. And then we lost this higher low. So we now are no longer in a daily uptrend. The trend's flat at this point. And again, that's why I say learn how to understand what the most important thing that you can do as a person learning is to learn what an uptrend and a downtrend is, and then put RSI into your chart, relative strength index. That's like the best thing you can do if you're new, right? And here we are losing the daily uptrend. We're now flat. So it's not looking good. And like I said, SPY could see another leg down as well next week after a bearish close. So yeah, I honestly don't follow ACB at all. I really don't like them. No interest in owning this company. Not saying that there's not going to be opportunity. There very well could be. I know they're pivoting their business model. They're focusing more on the medical side. But yeah, they're selling their flagship facility. Yeah, I have no interest in this stock. I don't purchase any of their products. Never have. I mean, I purchased a couple just to try them, but I really dislike all of them that I tried. I don't hear anybody talking about their products, right? Like imagine Warren Buffett buying a company and not liking their products, right? Like, or imagine him buying McDonald's stock and never ever eating at McDonald's, right? Like that just wouldn't happen, right? So in my mind, I don't care about their products. I never did. I never liked them. I don't find any of them attractive or appealing or any compelling, aspect to them whatsoever. But can they be successful long term? Maybe. Yeah, it's absolutely possible. It's just not something I am sold on, and I don't own any. So it's not really a name that I really focus too much on. And like I said, they were once a leader, and they're now not even. They're barely in the top 20, right? So. Yeah, I wish I had more to tell you other than that. I'd just be very cautious on that one. I think there's a lot better opportunities out there. But I mean, if you've been in this for a while and you're down quite a bit, well, you're probably better off just to hold it at this point. I don't think it's going to go under, but yeah, I don't know. This one's, I would just be cautious. If it were me, I'd probably be looking to get out on the next major move. And it all depends what your cost basis is, what your average is, where you bought in. If you give me a little information too as to like where you bought it, what's your average price, things like that, that can kind of help me maybe give you some recommendations. But personally, I have no interest in ACB. Could you please look at Zim Integrated Shipping Services? Sure. Integrated Shipping Services. So currently a weekly bear flag at the moment. Take our fib tool. Anything under 32.43 is a potential weekly bear flag. And if we just take our tool here, draw it out, we could be targeting another leg down here if this confirms. And if it does confirm, we'd be targeting around the 15.55. And again, lines up well with my thinking that if the S&P 500 is going to see another leg down, potentially target 330s, this thing could easily drop, right? If we're going to drop another 5 to 10% on SPY, this thing could easily drop another 20, 30%, right? Because what is the rule of thumb that I always say? If the S&P 500 is down 1%, individual stocks should be down anywhere from 3 to 4 times 3 to 4 times that, right? So yeah, it's a weekly bear flag at the moment. We are starting the weekly bounce, having broken the high of last week, but a very, very weak bounce so far. And anything under 32.43 is a potential weekly bear flag. And we're still in a weekly downtrend with lower highs and lower lows. Not much to be bullish on at the moment on this chart. And we do have some monthly support coming up at 21.37, obviously $20 psychological. We do have tentative earnings scheduled for November 16th, so that could be some volatility as well. But in terms of the daily time frame, we've got a bit of a daily inverse head and shoulders here forming, though, which is a bullish reversal pattern, right? So we got that head and shoulders that's forming here. So that's something that we can watch out for, and we could potentially change the daily trend. We have the low, high, higher, low. Now we need the higher high. So if we break the high here at 25.77, we'd be back in a daily uptrend. Then we would zoom out to the weekly. We would continue the weekly bounce, and then we would look for this resistance here at 32.43 to break, because if we break that, we negate the odds of another leg down and a weekly bear flag. And then at that point, we could be heading back to the 0.5 retracements, which would be around $35, and then favor a type of equilibrium in a tightening range. But all about that resistance there at 32, we'll say 32.50, just round it up. And yeah, if we can get a weekly candle close over 32.50 over the next few weeks, then it'll be good, and likely not going to see this downside. But like I said, it's looking like SPY could see another leg down, so I wouldn't be surprised if we did target that $15 to $16 area here over the next couple of weeks. And then earnings could be, that's a gamble, right? No, I don't follow this company either. So I have no idea what in terms of expectation of earnings are going to be. But you can take a look at investing.com. They'll give you there should be some estimates on there. Trying to understand what's up with the crazy dividend they offering. Let's see here. So yeah, the dividend just came out. And they've been giving dividends, looks like quarterly here. So yeah, I honestly don't have any more information than that. I can give you some of my technical perspective on it, but yeah, I don't have anything with regards to fundamentals on this one, I'm afraid. But we can take a look at do a little bit of a deeper dive here into it for you. Yeah, we're very bearish on the weekly time frame. The MACD still very bearish. The stochastic's trying to see a bull cross here, but we're well below the 10-week moving average there at $34. In terms of the moving averages, yeah, we're not looking good here. I mean, we are quite a ways away from that at $43. So if we do start to negate that, and we had a death cross here as well, the 50 and the 100, the 50 crossing down through the 200. So back in right, that's when SPY topped as well, right? That's when I said not a bad idea to buy SPXS on August 16th. And this is exactly when the death cross happened. The 50-day moving average crossed down through the 200. So if you just exited there when the price was at $45 on that death cross, that would have saved you like 50% of downside, right? Almost 50% of downside. So again, technical analysis is great. You just need to know how to use it. And it's not always accurate, right? It's not always going to be 100% accurate, but man, like that's pretty accurate, right? And not just looking at that chart, right? Looking at what SPY was doing. SPY was looking to potentially set a top. It was in a weekly and monthly downtrend, first time since 2008 financial crisis. And yeah, we were rocky, right? We have the macroeconomics, we have the geopolitical events with the war in Ukraine and Russia, and then tensions in other areas of the world, and the interest rate hikes and things like that. All those macro indicators and factors factored into that confluence. And yeah, I would have been running for the hills on this thing at $45, right? And you have to be careful with these dividend stocks. If you're only entering for a dividend, well, again, if the stock drops 50%, well, there goes your dividend bonus, right? Like your position's now down 50%, right? So not a bad idea getting into a stock near a low, right? And then looking to get a dividend, right? So something that you might want to look into is REITs as well, the real estate investment trusts. But yeah, when you're looking at this thing, if you're looking at buying this thing on the way up here on this huge move, and buying it for a dividend after it ran 800%, even at buying it around $43 or $45, it only pulled back after that about 35%, right? So if you're buying it for a dividend, you really need to be careful where you're buying it, right? Especially after a huge move like that. The only way I'd really enter to get the dividend would be if we were at like astronomically low prices, right? If we were down, 60, 70% plus from the all-time highs, or, we're at all-time lows or testing all-time lows. And like I said, the whole market was just shaky, right? So I know there's been quite a few people in POW Group as well that tell me they were buying things because it's a dividend. And I'm like, just because it pays a dividend doesn't mean it's going to be a winning trade, right? Or a long-term net positive, right? Because if it's due to drop 50, 60%, who cares? You're better off just waiting and trying to get it near support and trying to get it after a pretty big sell-off, right? So hopefully that helps. What's a good entry in your opinion? Thank you, sir. On Zim, well, like I said, we have support there at 21.37. We hit a low of 22.79. So the entry opportunity would be now. You could set a stop below 21.37, right? I definitely wouldn't be entering this thing without a stop. That's for damn sure. But yeah, like I said, if SPY is going to see another potential leg down and test 330s over the next couple of weeks, we know that the weekly candle close on today on the S&P 500 was very bearish. So like I said, it's adding that confluence to my thesis that we could see another leg down based on that .com fractal playing out to perfection as well, right, on the weekly time frame. So it says here we could see another leg down over the next couple of weeks, and it's been following it verbatim. Look at that, right? It's like pretty much spit an image. So if that's the case, this thing might even flush $20, right? It could be heading to that $15 area, like I said, with the weekly bear flag. So I'd be targeting, you could even take a scale in approach, right? You could start to enter a little bit near 20, a little around 17.50, and then some around $15, right? Start to scale in, or you could wait for a flush of $20 and then start to scale in. You could set your stop below $20 and look to get it near that support. And then if we lose support, sell it, trigger your stop loss, and then look to reload cheaper, maybe closer to that $16 to $15 area, right? So there's multiple ways you can play it. It just all depend on what are you looking 6 years out? Are you going to hold this thing 10 years, 20 years? What's your investment horizon? Are you retiring in 5 years, right? That's all going to change the different thing, right? So if it were me being young and if I was looking long term, I'd probably just start to bite at it closer to that support and then just dollar cost average. But like I said, things can always go lower. And what if SPY pulls a bear market over the next couple of years like this, right? So maybe this thing could even go to $10, right? Maybe even goes below $10. If we lose 21.37, we have nothing nearby until 17.75. Then $15 is the target of the weekly bear flag. And then after that, we have nothing until about 11.86. So yeah, this thing could easily go sub $10 in my opinion. So I just be careful entering too soon on this one, but hopefully that helps. Hello, Rod. Thanks to you. You're welcome. Glad I can help, as always. CGC and ACB have canceled their pump, and Hexo is about to. Yeah, Hexo is doing pretty good there, all things considered. At the beginning of the day, it was up like 10%, while Tilray was down like 15%. But then CGC is down 25%, ACB 12%. Tilray closed the day down 18% and Hexo down 13%. But again, Hexo hasn't lost the low of yesterday, and Tilray didn't lose the low of yesterday. Didn't even come close, and they're both still in daily uptrends. Whereas CGC and ACB lost the low of yesterday and no longer in daily uptrends. So just realized I wasn't sharing my screen, but yeah, so you can lost the low of yesterday, no longer in a daily uptrend. Lost the low of yesterday, no longer in a daily uptrend, and then Hexo didn't lose the low of yesterday, and then same with Tilray, didn't lose the low of yesterday. So Hexo and Tilray definitely standing out as stronger of a lot of our Canadian names, but that's to be expected because they're partners, right? And they're number one and number two, basically. But yeah, just follow the rest of the market, right? Pretty hard to go against the grain when SPY is weak. We didn't have any support on the short-term time frames. Tilray missed its earnings. The whole market was weak. Strong jobs report. The dollar was strong today, right? But still in a daily uptrend. So key support now on Hexo is 17.3 cents USD. But massive move. And again, we saw a gap up, right? We hit, what did we hit today? 25.48. So from the lows, up 54% there off the low, right? And then pre-market, I think we were even like pushing close to 30 cents. But yeah, we were up like 70%, 60 to 70% off of those lows, right? And that's how quick things can change. But again, need to be expecting more downside because of that lack of support. And we're in a weekly downtrend. Look at that weekly volume though. Almost the most volume ever in terms of shares, not in terms of dollar volume, but in terms of shares. The only other time was in November of 2020. Right around that stock split. Right after it, actually. So again, yeah, everybody thinks like, oh, there's going to be a reverse stock split. It's bearish. Well, not if we're at the end of a bear market. And this is exactly what happened in Hexo. It was at the end of a bear market, starting a new bull run, and it did a reverse split. And then it ran from like $2 to $11, right? So not all reverse splits are bad. And again, SNDL did a reverse split, and you might say, oh, well, they went down and they did a reverse split. Yeah, but we're in the heart of a bear market, right? Hexo did a reverse split at the end of a bear market, starting a new bull market, right? So again, if Hexo does another reverse split, leading into the decision into January 25th, well, again, we're coming on the end of the bear market here and entering another potential bull market. So it might be something similar, right? And people can perceive a reverse split as bullish because, oh, they're not going to be delisted, right? I think they're going to organically get above $1 easily before then, right? Look at this. Went from $2 to $11 in like 120 days. And we've got about the same time to do that. So if we did it that time, went from $2 to $11, surely we can go from 25 cents. What do we hit today? 25 cents during regular trading hours. Surely we can go from 25 cents to $1, right? Especially leading into potential safe banking and uplisting and potential reform in the US, right? And I said, I think it's a lot closer than many may think. And everybody kind of laughed. And then sure enough, here comes Biden at a left field, right? Starting to pivot starting to fulfill his campaign promises. Again, the more you study markets, I don't listen to anything they say. Don't listen to anything they say. The chart we usually tell you before the news comes out. And you just got to kind of look at the most likely scenario. And I've been saying for a while now that MJ is probably not going to start a new bull market until crypto and tech stocks enter a bear market, because they've been stealing the show. And MJ hasn't participated in the everything bubble of 2022. Did briefly, and then it popped in 2021 in February, and it's been heavily manipulated and shorted, right? JP Morgans of the world not allowing their clients to buy, right? Now they're going to pass safe banking so that the Wall Street banks can get positioned, and then they're going to allow their clients to buy, right? If you don't understand how this game works by now, you may never not understand. And like, it's rigged, right? So that's why you need to think like a market maker. And that's what I really think that I'm good at, and teaching people is, and I think I'm pretty good at teaching this, is think like a market maker. Don't think like a retail investor, right? It's like, what would you do if you were a market maker? But yeah, weekly all-time record volume is 113.2 million shares. And today we had 96, or this week we had 96. So it came just shy. But usually volume precedes price. And I know someone's going to say, oh yeah, but that was when the price was back at $2 and there was way more dollars traded. Yeah, well, that doesn't matter. It's the shares traded is getting close to an all-time record. Doesn't matter about the dollar volume, because what did I just say? Volume precedes price. So the price will come later. What we want to see is the volume, right? Okay, so moving on here. At least my XRP and XLM are kind of pumping to save the day. Yeah, well, that's exactly what I mentioned at the first of the day. And also my HBAR's pumping here. Again, if you're only focused on MJ, right, which I know this is an 80% MJ-centric channel. But like I said, I also invest in crypto. Crypto is my second biggest my biggest holding in terms of like crypto and stocks, right? MJ's second, and it's slowly changing, but I own more crypto dollar-wise than I do MJ stocks, right? And that's because we're in a bull market in crypto, and we could see alt season just around the corner. And look at, yeah, these are my three biggest holdings. and look at how good they're doing, and look at how crappy Bitcoin and the rest of the broader market was doing today in the stock market, right? And MJ stocks. So yeah, exactly. If you're only focusing on MJ stocks, it's very, very easy to get to get investor fatigue, or just to get frustrated at the market, and you may even want to quit altogether, right? But yeah, I'm of the thinking still that we're going to see alt season here over the next few months, and maybe even into the early 2023. And XRP might even go the full distance in this case with Ripple versus the SEC. This thing goes to full adjudication, right? And we go to March, April, maybe even May, which is what John Deaton is saying, that the attorney in crypto law. This thing could go out the whole distance. This thing could go to the distance to April, May, which means that we could see a massive move into then, right? And I think anywhere from $8 to $13 is possible. And then I'm really hoping that MJ just kind of stays a little bit low. I don't care if it runs a little bit, but I would like it to not run like 5 to 10x or 500% or 1,000% until I can rotate these crypto profits into more beaten down MJ. That would be the ideal perfect scenario, because if we've been down this long on MJ, who cares if it's another 3 or 6 months, right? What I would like to see is my thesis come true, where I think that altcoins are going to go crazy here in an alt season. And then after crypto and alt season tops and tech stocks enter a bear market, then I think MJ is going to run. And then, like I said, I'll be well capitalized and ready for that. But I do have my bags in MJ in case I'm wrong, right? I'm very comfortable with the amount of MJ that I own right now. And I think it could be generational wealth that could be coming from that, just from my MJ positions. But I own more crypto than I do MJ stocks dollar-wise, and I'm fully prepared to rotate those profits into more beaten down MJ, because I think MJ is going to be the next big thing over the next few years. But congratulations. I was just enjoying the temporary green yesterday with popcorn. Yeah, exactly. You can't get too complacent, and you can't get too ahead of yourself, because, like I said, all signs were pointing to weakness today. Added Hexo today, 3 separate times, approaching 18,000 shares. Very nice. Yeah, I'm a little over 50,000 shares. Like I said, I have a buy order in for 15 cents USD. If it hits, great. If it doesn't, I'm fine with that too, right? So congratulations. You're definitely getting there. That you don't need much more than 10,000 shares, in my opinion, to really change your life. 40 cents average. Yeah, that's better than my average. So you could easily get to the same amount of shares that I have with a way better average. Rod, please look at JEPI, JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF, pays 10% dividend monthly. Your views and SB Safe Bulkers pay 7.78% dividend. Yeah, so again, what I said about dividends earlier, just be careful with these dividends, because the benefit of getting a dividend versus losing 50% of your position kind of outweighs the whole goal of having a dividend, right? Like, for example, you'd want to be buying it here and getting the dividend because, we went on a big bull run. But now that we're potentially going on a big bear run, right, on a big correction, the dividends to me are less interesting. So maybe you want to get this thing when it's monthly oversold. Maybe when it's down, it's hard to say, right? Like, I'm not very bullish on banks right now either. And we are in a monthly down. Actually, we have the lower high. We haven't confirmed the lower low yet. This thing loses 50-50. We confirm a monthly downtrend, and I wouldn't want to be in this name. After that, we have no support until about 46 and then 42. And we are starting to see these EMAs curl with a potential bear cross. So again, I'd just be looking to get it more towards a bull run. And the whole broader market, we know the S&P 500 is likely going to be weak. We're in a recession, maybe even going into a depression, maybe even to the biggest financial pullback and collapse in all financial market history. I wouldn't be rushing in anything just to get a dividend whatsoever. I'd be waiting for this thing to go on fire sale and then load up, because you're getting the dividend, right? Maybe wait until late 2023, early 2024, when the broader market and the stock market's setting a bottom, and then buy it then. That's what I'd probably do. But again, you're gonna have to make that decision on your own. Not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. Entertainment purposes only, as always. If Tesla hits those numbers, I'll load the boat. Yeah, exactly. I sold Tesla a long time ago after, I didn't sell the exact top. Again, as long as you're exiting near the top and buying near the bottom, I was exiting near the top, didn't time the exact top. I'm okay with that. I'm not a wizard. I did it with SPXS there in SPY the other day on August 16th, like I showed you, but that was a freak show of an opportunity. Like there's no way I couldn't do that again if I tried. Right. But, it's just the way things go. And as long as you're buying and near the bottom and selling near the top, that's kind of the name of the game. And I'll be looking to buy near. I'll probably wait until $100. Try to get Tesla around $100 and sub 100. That's when I'll start to scale in, and I'll be using the long-term mindset and scale in approach, right? And I'll probably have it in a short-term account and a long-term account, just like I do with my MJ. I'll start to dollar cost average in a longer-term account where I don't do anything but dollar cost average and buy, and then I'll probably hold it for 5 or 10 years, whatever I decide is my game plan, right? But I'll reevaluate that at the time, right? It's all going to depend on what the broader market's doing as well, state of the economy. But yeah, I'll be a buyer around $100 and sub 100 for sure. You don't need to do anything extra of what you're doing, man. The stock market isn't for the weak. You got to be strong, especially in the time of the everything bubble. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point, and I appreciate that very much because it's so true, right? Like the financial markets are like it's kind of like the NHL, right? Or like any sports, major league sports, like less than 1% of people make it there. And it's kind of the same as the stock market. Less than 1% probably make generational wealth or become very, very wealthy, is because it's like a casino. It's like educated gambling, right? The more you educate yourself, the less gambling it is. But if you're not doing education, if you're not doing research, or you're not surrounding yourself with people who do like a mentor or something like that, right? You're at such a disadvantage, right? And the odds are stacked against you. And that's all the mainstream media does, is just pull strings to make you feel some type of way, right? Either get you all euphoric and you should be selling when you're buying, and they get you all euphoric and pumped up and you think everything's going to the moon and it's never going to correct, and then it goes down, and then you get all sad and depressed, and then that's when you should be buying, but the media is telling you, oh, you should be selling, right? It's just it's engineered to make you feel like crap, right? And then most people feel like crap, and they're like, well, I don't like feeling like crap. My brain's telling me this sucks, and my bank account says this sucks, right? So it's like your brain, when you're a kid, if you touch something, that hurts, and your brain's like, okay, well, next time that happens, I'm going to send signals to your brain, don't do that, right? And it's the same thing in the financial markets. It's hard to it's hard to come to terms with the fact and to have that contrarian mindset, right? And people like to feel good about something when they're buying it. It's just the weirdest phenomenon, right? If you go into a store, you only want to buy stuff when it's on sale. And some people won't buy stuff unless it's on sale. But in the stock market, they only want to buy stuff when it's going up and when their friends are telling them to. That's like the exact opposite, right? So you got to switch the mindset. It's definitely a mindset thing. But thank you very much. Talk XRP to me. I just did a video on XRP, actually. The road to $28, $100. Again, I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. It's probably going to be $28, probably going to be in a few years, couple years, maybe 2025. $100 maybe by 2027, 2029. But it could also come a lot quicker than that. Doge went from like a fraction of a penny, not even a penny, like what, 100th of a penny, to like 75 cents. So $1,000 investment into Doge, it went like 150x or 200x or something like that. So $1,000 investment into Doge would have yielded you like $250,000 in like a year and a half. Even Cardano went from 1.7 cents to $3.16, right? So if you just take a look at those gains, right, from the low of March 2020, we were at 1.7 cents. We went to 3.16. That's 180%, 180,000%. So you're looking at that's 18,000%. So you're looking at 180x. So $1,000 would be worth $180,000 18 months later in Cardano, right? So if you invested $4,000, you would have been a millionaire. So how many of those do you really, and it did that in such a short period of time. So, okay, from the low there, it went in 18 months, it went up 18,000%. So let's just look at XRP. If XRP does something similar, and we'll just use the lows of the same low just for comparison's sake, March 2020. This thing goes up 18,000%. I bet you it's going to line up at the fib levels too. No, not quite. It says we could go to 20 bucks, right? And that's exactly what I've been saying. The fib extension level here says we can go anywhere from $8 to $13. And this is what Ethereum did. Ethereum went to its 3.618, hit $4,800, right? And then Bitcoin went to its 3.618, exceeded it actually, and went to 70,000, right? 62,000 was the 3.618. So if they can do it, and if Cardano can do it, why can't XRP? And then, like I said, in this video, I went over I took the Bitcoin all-time history price index of Bitcoin, and I overlaid it on the XRP chart, and there's some striking similarities. And it's saying that we could easily see anywhere from $8 to $13, which lines up with the fib levels, sometime between now and April or May. And then sometime between now and 2025, we could see $28. And we know Ripple's probably going to IPO and go public after that. Ripple, the company, the private centralized company that actually has Ripple shares, not to be confused with the digital currency that's decentralized, XRP, right? XRP was created before Ripple, the company. Two very different things, right? So, but again, it could even go to $28, could go to $20 to $28 in the next 6 to 12 months. We just don't know. It's been suppressed for that long. And as the saying goes, the longer the base, the higher in space. And I don't think I've ever seen a longer base than the base that we have on XRP. So anyways, I'm ready for all scenarios. I'm pretty much going to be holding 10,000 XRP. I think I've got, I can't remember. I've got like somewhere close to 50,000 XRP at the moment, but I won't be selling. I'm going to be holding 10,000 XRP pretty much for forever. And, at least until 3 digits, at least till we see $100 plus. And then, I'll probably look to sell 75 to 80% of my crypto holdings here in an alt season. But I encourage you to go check out that video. Great explanation at Zim. Thanks, man. You're very welcome. Glad that helps. Yeah, Tilray, Hexo, and CGC had a lot of volume today. Yep. Still not like the most volume, right, though? If we just take a look at the chart. Still not a record weekly volume. And like I said, Tilray, the most shares that we had in one day was 302 million. And today it was only 118 million. So a far cry off of that all-time high daily volume. But definitely encouraging. We did see increasing volume today, although mostly bear volume, but still increasing. Thanks for the ACB info. As you requested, 5,000 at 327. Okay, yeah, so I just hold it. If I were you, I just hold it and then contemplate what you want to do later on, right? Maybe if you're getting close to break even, maybe you look to sell it and buy something else, but certainly don't buy it at break even and then buy something that's run hot and that's, probably due for a pullback. But ACB, like I said, I wish you nothing but the best. And this could be a very, very good trade. And like I said, there's probably a good chance that it does recover. But for me, I couldn't get behind it. I never invested in it. I was never sold on any of their products. I tried a few and didn't like them at all. And like I said, I never buy them. And like I said, I don't see any like new things coming out by them. I don't have there's no rumblings of any, developments or new product portfolios or anything like that. So yeah, I would just hold it though, if I were you. If you've got an average of 327, the price is at 116, right? So I would just hold it. And then, like I said, you can look to contemplate your game plan after, right? And I don't know if you own any other MJ stocks, right? So if you own like a bunch of other MJ stocks, Canadian producers, producers in the US, MSOs, maybe you have some retailers and an ETF like me. You're probably better off just holding that freaking thing, right? Until the US legalizes. But if ACB is your only holding, I definitely recommend reevaluating that at a later date. Can 10,000 shares of Hexo change life opportunity long-term? Absolutely. Yeah, I mentioned that in the chat, right? Like if we go back to all-time highs, that's Cardano gains that I just showed you, right? That's 18,000%. So that's like 180x. So if you put $1,000 into Hexo right now at this level, you're essentially potentially could make the same gains as Cardano just made, right? So essentially, if you put $4,000 into this thing US right now, and we go back to all-time highs, you'd be a millionaire, right? So 10,000 shares at $33, right? Show you the math. If we go back to $33 times 10,000 shares, $330,000. You tell me, is that life-changing? And then, like I said, if you invest $1,000 right now, 4 times, so 4,000, and we go back to all-time highs, that you'd be a millionaire. Hexo, yeah. So I think we already pretty much, you might have came in late, but yeah, we pretty much already looked at it. We're still in a daily uptrend with the low, high, higher low, and higher high, and we didn't lose the low of yesterday. So it's one of our stronger names, Tilray as well, didn't come close to losing its low from yesterday, and we're still in a daily uptrend. So Tilray probably the strongest, Hexo the second strongest. CGC lost its low, actually, we're still in a daily uptrend. Actually, I take that back. I thought we lost it, but we're still in a daily uptrend, all about 272 support, which was a double bottom there. And then, but it is a little bit weaker, but it's still in a daily uptrend. And then ACB lost its low of yesterday and lost the daily uptrend. So definitely one of the weaker ones. But Hexo and Tilray, the strongest, not surprising considering they're number 1 and number 2, and they are now partners. So yeah, it's looking good. Hexo could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross as well. Same with Tilray, and we're still holding the daily uptrend. So from here, realistically, let me just see here. As long as we hold 17 cents, in my opinion, we're still in a daily uptrend. So 17 cents is the most important from here. If we lose 17 cents, that's not good. And like I said, SPY could see another leg down next week or the week after that. And potentially target 330s on SPY, which means from current levels on SPY, if we target 330s, that's about another 10% of downside. So if we drop 10% on SPY, don't be surprised if this drops maybe 20, 25%, right? So if this dropped another 25%, 20%, that'd take us down around that 15 cent area. That's why I have a buy order in for 15 cents. And yeah, it's entirely possible we get to 15 cents on this thing. If SPY sees another leg down, obviously if we get news like we did with Biden the other day, you know, news can change that and we can go against the broader market, right? But if all things unchanged, if we see another leg down in SPY and no news in MJ, this thing could easily head to 15 cents. So like I said, buying opportunity, people who FOMO'd in today probably got wrecked and now they're down, right? Another, like we pulled back 25% in a day, but we shot up 40% from the low of yesterday. So like I said, when you pump 20, 30, 40%, you need to expect a 10, 20, 30% pullback, right? Especially when we had no support, especially when SPY was weak, broader market headwinds, and Tilray missed its earnings on EPS and revenue, but still not terrible. And then in terms of the weekly chart, MACD still bullish as well, has been since November of 2021. Look at that massive weekly volume, second highest weekly volume ever. Usually volume precedes price, so it's looking good. And then in terms of the daily moving averages, we're going to see a potential bull cross of the 50 and the 100, and then it'll be a while before we see a golden cross with the 50 crossing through the 200, but maybe over the next couple months. And again, I think we could see a massive rally into the end of the year. I think maybe in November and December, the stock market and MJ, I think as specifically MJ is going to completely explode. And then that could be because of uplisting and descheduling and uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ, right? Hexo to the moon. Yeah. Well, again, we all wanted to go to the moon yesterday, but we can't lose sight of the fact that reality has to kick in, right? And the fact is we're still in weekly and monthly downtrends on the broader market, the S&P 500. We're still in monthly downtrends on MJ, and we got a long ways to go, right? We still got multiple months before we really turn the ship around here. 2023 will be good for the MJ sector. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be the year of MJ. There was actually, if I bring up the POW Group community here, New York governor says recreational sales on track to start by year's end. So that'll be bullish. We know that Germany is coming online soon as well, likely in 2023. So that'll be bullish. And then, like I said, safe banking, uplisting, all this stuff, going to be very, very bullish for the market. probably the best opportunity out there over the next couple of years. By the end of 2023, recreational MJ will be legal in Germany. Yep. And like I said, I just show you that New York news from the governor. So everything's looking really good. All right. Not seeing any other requests. I'm just checking in on the POW group community here as well. See if there's any news that broke. Oh yeah, FTX, the crypto exchange, partners with Visa, bringing it to 40 different countries. That was some pretty bullish news that just came out not too long ago. What else? That's pretty much it. CVS, Credit Suisse, and AMD and Lyft were making some moves there toward the end of the day. That's pretty much all I have at the moment. So thanks everybody for joining the live stream. Thanks everybody for your comments and contributions as always. Hopefully this was helpful today. And again, when I come on here and I spit the truth at you guys, you know, it's not because I'm a perma bear. I don't want MJ to do bad, but all the writing was on the wall yesterday that we could see more downside. And then this morning, the opportunity, if people bought this morning, obviously they got burned. And they probably FOMO'd in because that news came out late yesterday. And then I said, watch for a potential gap up because that news still came out late and people are still digesting it. And then we could see a gap up and then we could see a pretty big pullback after that. And then we were watching Tilray earnings. They missed both their earnings. So, and we knew that before the stock market opened. And then SPY was weak as well. So like all the writing was on the wall to either wait and hold off and not buy at the open or potentially short it or potentially sell and reload cheaper, right? That would have been an option as well. Personally, I don't care about timing the market right now. I'm time in the market and I'm just dollar cost averaging. I have long-term account, short-term account for MJ, and I've got it's not money that I care about. Money that I'm willing to lose. I don't think I'm going to lose it. But I'm prepared to let it sit 3, 5, 10 years if I have to, right? And I own more crypto than I do MJ. See you on the moon, you bet. Safe banking soon, I believe, especially when it was passed in the House and now waiting. Yeah, it's passed like multiple times and the Senate, right? And it could happen in a lame duck session. If the Republicans take control of the House or the Senate or both, then the Dems will be really hard pressed and motivated to get something passed before the switch of power, right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. And have a plan for all scenarios. That's all we can do. All right, smash the like. I would appreciate it. On your way out, if you think I earned it today, share the video with anybody that might find value. And we'll see you again on the next update. Take care. Have a great night.